Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Sri Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Sri brihadbhagavatamrita ki jai, Samaveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. I hope you all have the copies of the prayers. Those of you who registered online, please check your email. I sent the prayers last night, so please keep them handy. We are going to recite it from today onwards. There are 40 of Prahlad Maharaj, and there are more. But this particular chapter, which is the main one, 7th canto, 9th chapter. Now, what you have with you is a set of 16 prayers, and there is a couple more batch of prayers. So there's part 2 and part 3. If by end of this course, if we can memorize all of them, that will be a fantastic devotional achievement. Don't be scared by the length of the verse. My personal experience is, I found longer verses easy to memorize. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyas Tavair Vede Sangha Padakrama Upanishadir Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyana Vastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogina Yasyantam Navidu Surasturagana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. I memorized this verse after dropping a devotee in Bunnings. As he was waiting in the car park, it took him 8 minutes to go inside, buy a bag of sand and come out. So longer verses you will find actually very easy to memorize. Sometimes shorter verses takes longer. So verses memorization means it's just recitation, which means we read out loud. Repetition, we have to keep on repeating. And revision, we have to keep revising. Recitation, repetition, and revision. If you find it hard to recite, you just hear and you follow. Okay, we'll get started today. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was reciting it every day, sometimes many times on the same day, these prayers. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was repeatedly hearing about Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj every single day. And it's mentioned sometimes many times on the same day. So the benefit of reciting this particular set of prayers, it's given not in 7th canto 9th chapter, but if you read 7th canto 10th chapter, Shukadeva Goswami gives the benefits. 2 benefits he gives. First is, it will free us from material bondage, which means any material problem we have in our life will go away. And second one, he says, whoever recites these prayers, Leela of Prahlad Maharaj, they will have their position guaranteed in spiritual world. So, very, very important that we understand why we are reciting these prayers. And as I said, you don't need to make any special effort to memorize them. You just come here every Saturday, and if you are in home, just go through them, read. I'll see if I can record this and I can post it in the group. Simply by reading it again, hearing it again and again, you would one day memorize them. Okay, let's get started.
You said you sent it to us and sent us to the email.
Yes, so whatever that you get in hard copy here, you will see a soft copy of that in your email if you have registered. Those who haven't registered, please do check the poster and send the mail, and the media team will put you in the group. Okay, let's get started. Sri Prarada Uvacha. We are going to recite together. I timed it yesterday. It took me 5 minutes to recite these prayers end to end. So, follow together. We'll do it together. Sri Prarada Uvacha Brahmadaya Suragana Munayota Siddha Satvaikatana Gatayo Vachasam Pravahe Naraditum Purugunai Raduna Pipipru Kim Toshtum Arhati Same Hari Ugrajate Manyedana Rupa Tapashrutojas Teja Prabhava Bala Paurusha Buddhi Yoga Naradanaya Hi Bhavanti Parasya Pumso Bhaktya Tutosha Bhagavan Gajayutapaya Vipradvisad Gunayutadara Vindanabha Padaravinda Vimukhat Swapachambarishtam Manye Tadarpita Mano Vachane Hitartha Pranam Punati Sakulam Natuburi Manaha Naivatmana Prabhurayam Nijalabha Purno Manam Janata Vidusakkaruno Vrinite Yat Yajjano Bhagavate Vidadita Manam Tachatmane Pratimukasya Yata Mukashri Tasmadagam Vigata Viklava Ishwarasya Sarvatmana Mahigrinami Yata Manisham Nicho Jaya Guna Visargamanu Pravishtaha Puyeta Yena Hipumana Anuvarnitena Sarvehi Ami Vidikarastava Satvadamno Brahmadayo Vayami Veshanato Vidantaha Shemaya Bhutaya Utatma Shukaya Chasya Vikriditam Bhagavato Ruchiravatare Tadyachamanyum Ashurascha Hatastvayadhya Modeta Sadurapi Vrishchika Sarpahatya Lokascha Nivrittimitah Pratiyanti Sarve Rupam Narsimha Vibhayaya Jana Smaranti Naham Bibemi Ajitateti Bhaganakashya Jivarka Netra Brukuti Rabashukra Shamsrat Antrasraja Shatajake Shanku Karnan Nirada Bita Digibata Ribinna Kagrat Trastosmi aham kripana vatsala dushahugra samsara chakra kadanadgrasatam pranitaha baddha svakarma biru sattamatengri moolam pritopavarga sharanam vyayase kadanu yasmat priya priya viyoga samyoga janma shokagnina shakalayonishu dayyamanaha dukkaushadam tatapidukam ataddiyaham bhumam brahmami vadame tavadasya yogam Soham priyasya shuhrda paradevataya Leela katastava narsimha virincha gita Anjasti tarmi arugrinan guna vipramukto Durganite pada yugalaya hamsa sangha Balasya neha sharanam pitaro narsimha Nartasya chagadamudanvati majjatauno Taptasya tat pratividir yaihanjasheshtas Tavad vibhotanubhritam tvadupekshitanam Yasmin yato yarhi yena cha yasya yasmad Yasmai yata yadudas yatsvat paparaparova Bhavak karoti vikaroti pritak svabhava Sanchoti dastadakilam bhavatasvarupam Maya manah srijati karma mayam baliyaha Kalena chodita gunanumatena pumsa Chando mayam yad ajayarpita shodasaram Samsara chakramajakotita retvadanya Svatam hi nitya vijitatma guna svadamna Kalo vashikrita vishrija visarga shaktihi Chakre vrishishtam ajayeshvara shodashare Nishpidyamanam upakarsha vibho prapannam Drishta maya divi vibho kila dishnapanam Ayushriyo vibhavah ichchati yanjanoyam Yesmat pitu kupita hasa vijrimbitabhru Vispurjitena lulitah satute nirastaha I'll read the translation of 7.9.8 alone. So every week we can go through the translation of one verse. Prahlad Maharaj said, how is it possible for me, who have been born in a family of asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and all the saintly persons could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words. Although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of goodness, then what is to be said of me? I am not at all qualified. So if you hear these prayers few times, going with that melody, with that meter, it will be easy for you to recite. So try to go through them, and then next week when we come, we'll try to recite. Even if you manage to recite few of them, you can join. And then slowly you can do it together.
Why is reciting these prayers for Sri for the
Brihadbhagavatamrita, we are going through it because after Brihadbhagavatamrita, we are going to go through we need to tell them it's echoing. Brihadbhagavatamrita is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. After going through Brihadbhagavatamrita, we'll go to the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Because there are a lot of prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam, we thought we'll start the prayers from now on, rather than waiting until we start. So that's why we're doing it now. Okay, so last week we were discussing just about the background of Sri Brihadbhagavatamrita. We were discussing about how this is a conversation. Brihadbhagavatamrita. We were discussing about how this is a conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and his mother, Uttara. And we were discussing how Parikshit Maharaj, he was sitting alone after having heard the entire Srimad Bhagavatam from his spiritual master Shukadeva Goswami, all the 12 cantos he had heard, 18,000 verses. And as he was seated there alone, preparing his consciousness to leave his body, his mother approaches him and she puts forth the question, my dear son, you have heard Srimad Bhagavatam in its entirety and now we have very less time. So can you please churn out the essence of this Srimad Bhagavatam and give me before you leave? So this was a question, and in answer to that, Parikshit Maharaj tells to his mother Uttara that even though I am preparing to leave my body, and at such time observing silence is usually advised. So you can meditate, you don't distract yourself talking about anything. Even though I'm supposed to be observing silence now, your question has given me newer enthusiasm to recite. Prabhupada, when he writes in Nectar of Instruction about the 6 forces that we have to control, the very first verse, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udarupasta Vegam, Yetan Vegan Yo Visaheta Dira, Sarvan Apimam, Prithivimsa Sishyad. When it comes to controlling the tongue or speech, Vacho Vegam, the urge to speak, Srila Prabhupada says everyone in this world, they like to just talk. As soon as there is a group of people in a place, they'll just keep talking. So, Srila Prabhupada says this tendency need to be curbed. Now, there are 2 ways to curb this tendency. One is by practicing Mauna Vrata. Mauna Vrata. Mauna means silence. And Vrata means, that's like a penance. You're fasting from speaking. That's why it's called Mauna Vrata. Like we call Ekadashi Vrata. Vrata means fasting. So Mauna Vrata means you are fasting from speaking. Very difficult. Like we have, I think the next Ekadashi is Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. No drop of water. I think after going through this Mauna Vrata, we would say something similar to what Arjuna said. Oh my Lord, I would rather control the wind, but to control the urge to speak is very difficult. Very difficult. As soon as there is a group of people, we like to talk. So Prabhupada there, he says that urge has to be controlled. Why? Because we will lose a lot of energy by speaking. Have you got that experience? Sometimes you get into a conversation and you think this is going nowhere and it's not going to finish soon either. Could be in phone, could be face to face, and then you just go and you literally feel your energy being drained. How many of you have that experience? I have it all the time. We have it. So Prabhupada says if somebody can't control it, then they are recommended to keep quiet. But a more positive way, more productive way of controlling speech is to talk only about Krishna. Prabhupada, when he came to Sydney, very first time, 1971, Prabhupada arrived here on 9th of May, 1971, on Narsinga Chaturthasi. 10th of May, he installed Sri Radha Gopinath, the presiding deities of our temple. And then, while he is staying in his apartment, his servant, Upendra Prabhu, he tells, Prabhupada actually sits there writing, and he hears Upendra Prabhu speaking to one of his god brothers, inquiring about different devotees. Then Prabhupada calls Upendra, then Upendra Prabhu comes in. What are you talking? Then Upendra Prabhu says, I was talking about devotees. Then Prabhupada says, don't do Prajalpa. Then Upendra Prabhu gets shocked and he asks, Prabhupada is talking about devotees, Prajalpa, like mundane talk. Prabhupada says, anything other than talking about Krishna is Prajalpa. Then Upendra Prabhu says, yeah, I was not talking about Krishna. I was doing Prajalpa, Prabhupada, sorry. So if we don't know how to engage the power of speech, then we have to keep quiet. But if we know how to engage the power of speech, then we should 24/7 talk about Krishna. So here, Parishit Maharaj, he says, even though this is the general norm, wherein as you prepare to leave your body, you observe silence and you try to meditate, your question that you have put forth urges me to actually speak, and I'm feeling a lot of enthusiasm to speak about it. Let's get started. And he starts to narrate. What is going to narrate is what we are actually reading here as brihadbhagavatamrita. This is part 1. As I said, part 1 has 7 chapters. Part 2 has 7 chapters but spread across 2 books. So there are 3 books. Part 1 is only 1 book, 7 chapters. The remaining 7 chapters, because brihadbhagavatamrita has 14 in all, the remaining 7 chapters comes in 2 books. The books will arrive on Monday or Tuesday, so next week when you come, they'll be ready. If any of you want to purchase, it's $70 for a set of 3 books. So, part 1 discusses, this book actually discusses about Narada Muni's quest to find out who is the devotee who is favored by Krishna the most. Who is the dearest devotee of Krishna? Who is the devotee to whom Krishna has given his maximum mercy? So, he goes to different personalities. Today, I need to attend a ISKCON AGM meeting at 11 o'clock. So, excuse me, I'll finish the class early. So, your prasad also will be served at 11 o'clock. But I'll finish the class 10 minutes to 11. So, I won't take any questions today. You can make a note. We can discuss next week. So, today I'll try to touch on 2 of the devotees he goes to try to understand whether they are the ones who are most favored. So the first devotee, the title of the first chapter is called Bhauma. Bhauma means earth. Bhauma, Bhumi. So one day in Prayag, there is a group of sages, group of brahmanas also, who were there in the month of Magh. Magh means generally January, February. It's still cold in India. So during the month of Magh, a group of sages and devotees, they were taking bath. There is a quote that's actually given in Padma Puran that says, no amount of charity, vow, sacrifice pleases the Supreme Lord Hari in the month of Magh as much as the Supreme Lord is seeing his devotees take bath in this month. So you can understand how cold it must have been, that taking bath in this month is given as the topmost activity that pleases the Supreme Lord. Of course, chanting is always there, but there is a verse that says, so it goes to show it must be extremely cold during that time, especially in Prayag, in north. So on this bank of Ganges, Triveni, where the rivers Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati meet, so there are devotees who have taken bath and they come to the shore banks and they discuss about Krishna Katha. And as they are discussing about Krishna Katha or glories of Krishna, one Brahmana who is very much respected in that area, he comes there. So he comes there to that banks along with his entourage of servants, entourage of devotees, and he starts to clean up. He takes one nice spot and he cleans up the place. Recently I went to Rishikesh. It's very close to Rishikesh. Haridwar is like just half an hour from there. If you look at the waters of Mother Ganga, it will be crystal clear. And it won't be that deep, at least in this part of the year. You can actually walk in almost like 5-6 meters. Water would be just that much. But if you look in the banks, there are a lot of huge stones that looks like pebbles. And you will see kids, whenever they come, they like to arrange nice seats. You go there, you'll find a lot of seats which they make of just small pebbles. So like that, in Prayag on the bank, he brings all these nice stones, makes up a platform, and then he purifies that place, decorates that place, and then he places his Shaligram Shila. Shaligram Shila Shaligram Shila are self-manifested forms of Vishnu. They are specifically found in the banks of river Gandaki, which is considered to be the body of Tulsi Maharani. So these stones, they are self-manifested, Swayambhu. Nobody carves them, they are just self-manifested deities. But according to Shastras, you will also see Vishwakarma and his descendants, they take the form of tiny worms and they go carve them under the water. So these forms, how many of you have seen Shaligram Shila? Okay, you can see sometimes they are like small, round, dark colored stones usually, and with the different features of the Supreme Lord. You can see the teeth sometimes they even stick eyes also there. I'll share in the group some photos of them. And it is said the smaller the Shaligram Shila is, more powerful it is. More smaller the stone is, it's a deity, more powerful he is. So this Brahmana, he was worshipping the Shaligram Shila. The name also comes from, these stones are found in this river, Gandaki. And if you look on Radha Ramanji in Vrindavan, so Radha Ramanji is a Shaligram Shila. He came on his own accord to Gopal Bhatta Goswami when he actually goes to river Gandaki. So this is the background. So this Brahmana, he brings a Shaligram Shila who he worships every day. Prabhupada, when Shaligram Shila was once gifted to him, he calls his disciple Pradyumna Prabhu. And he tells to Pradyumna Prabhu, okay, you are a Brahmana, I am giving it to you, the Shaligram Shila. Every single day you have to worship them. On days when you can't worship, no problem, your wife can worship. On the days when both of you can't worship, it's fine, your son can worship. But worship should go on. And Prabhupada gives very simple instructions for worshipping Shaligram. You bathe them, you apply perfume oil, chandan, the sandalwood paste, you bathe them, you offer tulsi. Tulsi has to be there and some boga, Prabhupada says, that's all you do. But for Brahmanas, this is their duty. Srila Prabhupada says his own father used to have Shaligram Shila tied in a bag and he'll hang that bag around his neck. So wherever he goes, he'll carry him like that. So this is Shaligram Shila. So this Brahmana, he brought his Shaligram Shila, which is a form of Krishna, and he was worshipping. So first he sets up the platform, decorates it very beautifully, the altar. He places the Shaligram Shila in a very ornately designed asana or the sitting place. And then he offers Arati. Arati, we usually offer different items to the Supreme Lord. Like even it's said the different elements, Panchabhuta, it's given 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, everything you offer. So if you take incense, so we offer lamp, which is like fire. Then we offer water, that's like a sprinkling scented water. Then we offer vastra, which is like the cloth to the Supreme Lord. Likewise, we then offer flowers as well. And then we offer chamara, which is like the yak tail that you see there. That's mainly offered to drive away the insects if there are anything. And then there was one instance, I was watching Shrutakirti Prabhu's memory. So in Vrindavan, when Prabhupada took his disciples to Vrindavan for the first time, Prabhupada is giving this famous series of classes on nectar of devotion. And when that was going on, Prabhupada was seated there and a lot of insects, they were disturbing him. Shrutakirti Prabhu he was supposed to drive them away, but he's standing there doing first time, he didn't know, he thought it's just a ritual. Usually, have you seen? The priests do. So Prabhupada is seated there, insects were disturbing him, but he's like doing arati like this. Prabhupada at one point, he stops the class and he tells, can someone with intelligence come here and do this? And Shrutakirti Prabhu says, and then suddenly there was one devotee who is usually, other devotees would consider him eccentric. He just stood up and he got shocked because he said, I felt very, very small. And then he sits down and this devotee comes, picks up the chamar and he says in no time, he just drove away everything. And when Prabhupada was giving class, Prabhupada looked at him and he nodded also, giving him acknowledgement. So that's the purpose why we offer this. And then Vyajana, which is the peacock feather, you see. Okay, so in this way we offer. So this is Arati. Arati means we welcome the Lord. So in a day we have like 6 Aratis, we welcome the Lord for public darshan. So that's the idea of Arati. When Supreme Lord comes, when kings come, that's what they used to do in Vedic times. So we do. But Arati, if you see lamp, that comes from Aratrikam. The idea of offering lamp even during daytime is if a guest comes to your home in Vedic times, because there is no electricity, they would actually lift the lamp and they would actually show, hey, this is where our home is. So they use that to welcome the guests. So in Arati also, we actually offer the lamp. That's the idea with that mood. So if you ask the pujaris, priests, they'll tell you when they offer each of the items with what mood they are offering, like that. Okay, so this Brahmana, he sets up his deity, which is a Shaligram Shila, on a beautiful altar, and he starts to offer Arati. And as he is offering Arati, he is doing Kirtan. All the other Brahmanas who are presented there, they are also participating in it. And then after this, he offers all wonderful offerings to the Supreme Lord. He offers costly clothes, he offers very fragrant flowers, nice garlands, offers a lot of bhoga, food, for the pleasure of Krishna. And after offering all of that, he then takes it and he distributes it to everyone. First he gives it to all the senior Vaishnavas and Brahmanas, then to all the common people, respectable people. He was giving it to Shudras, Chandalas. He even went and served every living entity that was there. Even for ants, he was giving some prasad. Likewise for different living entities. If you see in Vedic culture, they do Rangoli. Rangoli is where they use the rice flour. These days they use color powder, unfortunately, not much use. But in ancient days, they actually use a ground rice flour. It will still grainy. They use that for making Rangoli. Have you seen? Sometimes for our festivals also they make just outside. The idea there is the little ants and other living entities, they'll come and eat and they'll go, or they'll take it away. This is our prasadam distribution for them. That's the idea. But these days we serve chemicals. It's a big disservice for the insects. So as much as possible, we need to use that. I remember even in my childhood days, I used to spoil a bit, but I was still a decent Rangoli maker. So you can do. You have to just point the finger and you have to drop it slowly. And then the finger will actually guide. So who here knows how to make Rangoli? Simple one. You can teach others. Anyone interested? You also know, Prabhu. Good. Join the club. So you can do, but the idea there is using those rice grains or wheat grains, usually rice grains, they make these beautiful patterns on the ground. But that's like the food for the other small living creatures. They'll also come and take. They'll also have feast. That's the idea. So this Brahmana, he made sure he pleased the Supreme Lord. He made sure he pleased everyone in that area. So after offering everyone, he is feeling very, very pleased. He washes the feet of his guests, sprinkles the water on his head along or he sprinkles the water on the head of his family members as well. At that time, Narada Muni, who is witnessing all this scene, so he was there right when nobody was there. And then group of Brahmanas came, they took bath and they were seated. And then this particular Brahmana, who is a respectable Brahmana, he comes. So he has witnessed the whole scene end to end. What he has done, how he set up, how he served everyone, asking for blessings from everyone with a proper mood. Then Narada Muni stands up, he jumps up and down in ecstasy, and then he runs towards this Brahmana, embracing him, saying, "You are the one who is the most favored devotee of the Supreme Lord. Because Krishna has endowed you with all riches, and you are nicely offering everything in the service of the Supreme Lord." This Brahmana, after having offered everything to Supreme Lord as well as to others, he goes to the Supreme Lord and he offers a beautiful prayer. He says, "My Lord, whatever credit that I had accrued by devotional service now, may all that credit go to you." So nothing he keeps. So even whatever spiritual benefit he gets, that also he is offering. Like you will see, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Yat karoti yad ashnashi yad juhosi dadasiyat yat tapasyasi kauntaya tat kurushva madarpanam." Meaning, whatever penance, whatever austerity, whatever activity that you do that as an offering for me. So when we do any devotional activity, even when we chant Hare Krishna, if we try to think by chanting Hare Krishna, I'll taste the nectar, we'll never taste the nectar. So the proper mood is, when we chant Hare Krishna, we should chant to give pleasure to Radha Gopinath. My Lord, I am chanting your holy name. Krishna also feels pleased because there is nothing beyond him. So the bestest sound vibration is his own name, nothing else. That's why it's given when Krishna wakes up in the morning in Dwaraka, where he was settled with 16,108 queens, expanding himself into those many forms. He would walk up during Brahma Muhurta time, which is around 4:30, wash his hands, wash his feet, he would sit and he will meditate on himself, him and Radharani. I was saying that in one class, one devotee was asking, "So is that what we are supposed to do?" I said, "When Krishna does it, it's very sweet. If you do it, you will be called as a Mayavadi." Because we are not God. Krishna knows there is nothing worth meditating on beyond him. So he is meditating on Srimati Radharani and himself. Okay, Radha Gopinath meditates on Radha Gopinath. So when we chant Hare Krishna, we should chant to give pleasure to the Supreme Lord. My Lord, your name is Madhuram, sweetness. Sweet, it's like a sweet nectar. So your form is like a sweet nectar. So I am offering it to you. So even before we open the curtain for darshan, we show the mirror for Radha Gopinath and then for all of them. When we show to Gopinath, who does he see? His own face. He sees Srimati Radharani's face. So that's the beautiful offering, because we are opening the darshan and here we are standing outside in half sleepy mood, correct? That's not the best offering for Krishna. So after dressing, decorating him beautifully, we then offer it. My Lord, there is no other better darshan than you. You please be satisfied looking at you. And by the way, please prepare yourself, to see us. So like that. So that's what we do. We offer it like that. Okay, so anything, same way if you go to Ganga, you scoop water and you offer your prayers to Mother Ganga. Gangaji, there is nothing else that's worthy to offer you. There's nothing else more pure than you. So may your water itself be your offering. So we take that and we give. We follow Krishna. Krishna says that to gopis, saying, "Oh my dear gopis, for what you have given, what you have offered to me, there is nothing. I cannot pay you back. So may your own devotional service be your credit." So we follow Krishna like that. For Gangaji, there is nothing more pure, so we offer like this. This time I went, one Pandit actually told me, local Pandit, when you go to Ganga, you offer it, you scoop the water and you offer it like this. Okay, you offer the water like this. One for yours, one you offer it to sun god like this, and for all your forefathers, on their behalf, foremothers, on their behalf, if you have to offer, you have to scoop the water and you have to offer it like this, he said. You have to offer it this way for all deceased forefathers like that. So you will see sometimes, people do that. That's the idea there. You take the water of Mother Ganga and then you offer it back to her, because there is nothing more pure than her to be worthy to be offered to her. Understand? So this Brahmana, so Narada Muni comes and he sees everything. He even hears the prayers of this Brahmana. So he feels very elated to have witnessed the activities of this wonderful Vaishnava. So he comes, embraces him, and he tells him, "Oh Brahmana, you are the most favored devotee of the Supreme Lord. Krishna has blessed you with so much fortune, which you are putting it into good use. You are also serving all the other devotees around. Not only devotees, even people who are new, who have no idea about bhakti, you are serving them as well. You are serving all the other living entities as well. So, you are the most favored personality. When Narada Muni says this, the Brahmana feels very ashamed, very embarrassed. If we are in that position, what would we do? We say, I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that again? But this Brahmana feels very ashamed to be hearing his own glorification. And he tells to Narada Muni, oh great sage, what are you saying? How can I be the most fortunate one? What wealth do I have? I have nothing. What favor did Krishna give to me? I am offering it to him without even knowing whether he is here or not. This is my consciousness. So I am definitely not the most favored devotee. Where do I stand in comparison to that king of South India? And then he starts to extol the glories of one other king in South India. This is happening in Prayag. Prayag is in North India. And the two examples that are given seem to be happening in Bauma, which is in earth. First chapter talks about earth. Second chapter it talks about it goes to higher planetary system. Who's worshipping who? So that we'll see in the next class. Then he points him, there is one king in South India who's not an emperor. In Sanskrit, emperor is addressed with the word Chakravarti. Chakravarti means like king of kings. Okay, the emperor. But this particular South Indian king, he is not a Chakravarti, he uses the term Maharaja. Like in ISKCON we address spiritual masters, sannyasis as Maharaj. So he calls him as Maharaja. Maharaja means he is not a small time king, he still has some kings under him, paying their respects to him. At the same time, he is not up there as like emperor. Why? Who was the emperor at this time? Okay, good guess. Take a guess. Who was the emperor? When was this pastime happening? Parishit Maharaj is narrating this. One of the characters, when different people point at, like he goes to South Indian king would say, it's not me, go to the heavenly kingdom. Likewise, it will go at one point, it comes to Pandavas. Yudhishthir Maharaj was the emperor. He was ruling the whole Jambudvipa. I'll touch on Vedic cosmology when we come there. At this time, emperor, the sole king for the whole world was Yudhishthir Maharaj. This is happening during the time of the Pandavas. So, Maharaja, he uses the term Maharaj, which means he is not the emperor. Yudhishthir Maharaj was the only Chakravarti there. But he is one of the king, Vaishnava king, who had few other kings offering their respects to him. So this is his position. And he says in his kingdom, there is a festival every single day. There is a beautiful temple right outside the palace of this king, where the Supreme Lord is actually worshipped as if he is there. If you go to Jaipur, you will see how much everyone in this holy land, they mold their lives around the worship of Radha Govindaji. You go to Mayapur, you will see likewise Radha Madhav. Even the shops, everything, they close at 8 o'clock. Okay, so you get maximum attendance for Mangalarati time. Like that, so the whole lifestyle, everything is molded. You go to Vrindavan, same thing. Everyone will go to one of the 5,000 different temples. Like that, in this, the kingdom of this particular king, name is not given. This particular king, everyone's life is centered around worshipping the beautiful form of Krishna. And this king, even though he is not an ordinary king, small time king, he is still Maharaja, he is still a king of a very high stature. Even though he is actually the ruler of all these lands, what the king has done is, he has divided his entire kingdom into different parts, and he has offered different parts to either some demigod or to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. In other words, there is not even a tinge of pride in him. He was totally prideless, and he has just offered it. He simply feels, I am just the caretaker of all my citizens of this entire kingdom. I am ruling on behalf of the Supreme Lord. This is his mood. And he is endowed with so much wealth, being a king. And it is said his kingdom was so spiritual, it was attracting spiritually minded people from different parts of the world. So everyone wants to, they get pulled to come to his kingdom, reside there, and practice their bhakti, practice their Krishna consciousness there. And whoever comes there, he distributes free prasad as well. So there is no need to work to maintain oneself. The king was taking care of all his citizens as they his own children. So when Narada Muni hears this, he immediately goes to South India. And then he goes there and he has first-hand experience. When he goes there, he sees all the people, they feel very, very happy. And Narada Muni witnesses, even in a paddy field, they didn't have to till the ground. Night time, the rain comes and it gives just enough water to water the fields. Nobody need to go to agricultural fields also. It gives, and whatever food they actually need, it just naturally sprouts. In Bible, there is an instance where it's actually given when Adam and Eve, when they committed the first sin in the Garden of Eden, when they go out, one curse which they actually receive is, from now on, earth won't give you what you need. You will get whatever you need from the earth by tilling the ground, by paying the price of your sweat. It's given like that. I was thinking, when you see, you will always see some parallel. So this is like a Kali Yuga norm. Earth is holding its bounty, but she won't give you readily. You have to work for it. But actually, in a proper Krishna conscious kingdom, you don't need to work. You need to be, it's enough to simply practice bhakti. Everything will come readily, automatically like that. And Narada Muni witnesses it. Nobody need to go to their fields to work, because everyone in the whole kingdom was busy just celebrating one festival after the other, every single day. And there is ample prasadam distribution, there was kirtana going on, everything was going on. And Narada Muni feels very happy, and as he hasn't seen the king, as he walks towards the temple, he sees the king coming there. Again, Narada Muni shouts out, saying, "Oh, most fortunate one, oh, most favored devotee of Krishna." Then just like how the Brahmana reacted, the king also feels very embarrassed. This is one symptom of pure devotees. They never feel they are doing something worthy enough to be glorified. They always feel embarrassed, not doing enough for Krishna, not doing enough in the service of Krishna and their devotees. So this king tells to Narada Muni, "Oh great sage, please don't embarrass me like this. What wealth do I have? I don't even have faith in this Archa Vigraha form, in the beautiful deity form. I have such atheistic mentality. My heart is actually very hard. And I am one of this tiny little jiva. There are so many, countless number of jivas, souls in this world. I am just one among them. And trying to do my own little bit for my own purification. So there is nothing to my credit. How can I ever reciprocate what Krishna has given me? He has given me everything. And in return, I am just giving such a token offering only back. And I feel I am doing very inadequate in my service." And he says, "You have said I am the most favored devotee of Krishna. Where do I stand when it comes to being favored by Krishna against the demigods? Who is more favored by Krishna than the devatas?" So then he points Narada Muni to demigods. And he says, they are not ordinary people. The Supreme Lord himself personally accompanies them. And these demigods, they are headed by Indra. Indra is the name of a position. Indra means king. Our current Indra's name is Purandara. Indra is the job description. But his name is Purandara. He is called Purandara Indra. So he specifically singles out Purandara Indra. He is the one who is being favored by the Supreme Lord. As Vamana Dev Upendra, he is his younger brother protecting him. Not only protecting him, but he is personally accepting all his offerings. And the position of Indra is such that they would be there for 71 cycles of Chatur Yuga. So there are 14 Manus in a day of Lord Brahma. and there are 1,000 Divya Yuga or 1,000 cycles of 4 Yuga. So 1,000 divided and same duration at night also. So in a day of Lord Brahma, 1,000, if you divide that by 14, you will get approximately about 71, Chatur Yuga. That's the duration of one Manu, and that's the duration of one Indra as well. So when Manu change, at that time he comes with his own ministry. Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varuna, everyone will change. So this is the duration, how long they actually rule these planetary systems. So he says, Purandara Indra, this is his exalted position. Not only that, generally, when we discuss about demigod worship in Bhagavad Gita, we say one of the limitations of demigods is such that they can't go freely anywhere and give benediction to anyone. They cannot do. Because they are administrative gods, they are strictly following protocols, wherein only if a worshipper worships them, rule number 1. Rule number 2, only if the worshipper ticks all the boxes in terms of sacrifices, doing everything perfectly, then they are authorized to go and give the boon which the worshipper actually asked. That's it. And they have to walk away. They are not authorized to go and give anything freely to anyone. On the other hand, if you take Krishna, Krishna doesn't even need anyone to call him. He can just go to anyone, give anything to anyone at any time. There is no rule regulation for Krishna. But among demigods, Indra alone is given exalted position, and we have to be a little careful not to offend him. Indra alone is given the position of going anywhere and giving benediction wherever he likes. He can curse anyone as well, excuse me. So don't offend. So Indra's position, even among demigods, is very exalted. So he's given special privileges like that. Shastras say like that. So this is the position of Indra. He is the most favored devotee because the Supreme Lord has appeared as his own younger brother. And he's right there giving him counsel, giving him protection. And this is Indra. So I'm not the most favored. Indra is the most favored. Needless to say, Narada Muni then heads towards the heavenly kingdom. I'll stop here. I'm 5 minutes away from the meeting I'm supposed to attend. So sincere apologies just for this week. As I said, it's a meeting which I can't skip. Can't delegate to anyone either. Any questions you have, please make a note and we can discuss it next class. Those of you who are attending online, if you have any questions, you can see in Mayapur TV who is attending here. You send your questions to them and they can ask on your behalf. So, because sending emails, I get too many, it's hard for me to remember. You can send it to them and they can ask here on your behalf and we can answer them. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki jai. Sri brihadbhagavatamrita ki jai. Samaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Shri Radha Gopinath's devotees ki jai. Devotees in Mayapur TV, YouTube and Facebook ki jai. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. We'll be serving the prasad shortly. Ravi Prabhu, you can do. So at 11 o'clock, you can take prasad in the restaurant area. We'll see you next week. And please do make an attempt to read those prayers. And next week onwards, familiarize yourself slowly. You can even watch the video how we recited today. Try to get that melody, and then you do. I'll try to record them and send it to you, so you can do. But keep that as a target. By the time we finish the entire brihadbhagavatamrita, if we can memorize or acquaint ourselves with as much as possible with the Prahlad Maharaj's prayers, that will be a big milestone in your Krishna conscious journey. Okay? Hare Krishna.